My wife slept with my best friend and now she's asking for forgiveness. Rachel and I have been married for 17 years. We have 3 kids together and a life that, at least on the surface, looked like the one I always wanted. I grew up believing in monogamy and had always pictured myself with one woman to come home to, someone I'd grow old with. Rachel was my dream girl. Over the years, I had opportunities to stray, women showing interest, subtle flirtations, but I never acted on them. I was content. She was enough for me. But the truth is, this isn't the first time Rachel has betrayed me. There have been 2 other instances in our marriage where I found out she was unfaithful. The first was an off-and-on affair with a married coworker that lasted for years. The second was a fling with her high school ex while she was visiting family out of state. Looking back, I know people will call me naive, maybe even stupid, for forgiving her. And honestly, I can't argue with them. After each incident, we separated for a while, and eventually, I chose to take her back. I told myself it was for the kids, that I didn't want them to grow up in a broken home like I did. I convinced myself we could work through it, that the love we once had was worth fighting for. After the first affair, I chalked it up to us being young and making dumb decisions. After the second, I told myself that people make mistakes. I thought we could rebuild. For a while, it seemed like we did. The past 4 years have been relatively peaceful. Rachel seemed like a different person, more devoted, more attentive. We were happy, or at least that's what I told myself. We were making plans for our future and the kids, and for the first time in years, I felt like I'd made the right decision by giving her another chance. Then, 2 months ago, everything fell apart again. It started with a message from my best friend's wife, Sarah. My friend, Mike, had known Rachel in passing, but we weren't a group that hung out together often. There was never a reason for me to worry about them. Mike and I worked together, and Rachel had met him a few times when she'd stop by to bring me coffee. Sometimes she'd bring one for Mike too. I'd noticed little things that, in hindsight, should have raised red flags. Rachel would dress up more when she came to the office, wearing outfits that were more revealing than usual. She'd bring up Mike in conversation more than felt natural, like when she convinced me we should buy him a joint birthday gift and take him out for drinks. It felt strange at the time, but I brushed it off. Rachel told me she just wanted to have another couple to be friends with, and I went along with it. But Sarah's message changed everything. She sent me screenshots of messages between Rachel and Mike that made it painfully clear they were having an affair. At first, I couldn't believe it. I had to get my proof in order before confronting Rachel, so I started digging, call logs, credit card statements, everything I could find. The more I uncovered, the worse it got. It turned out they'd been sneaking off to hotels when Rachel was supposed to be working overtime, and Mike was supposedly with his family. He'd leave work to see her at her job almost every day, and she'd meet him during his lunch breaks. They were even planning a weekend together at a hotel the week after I found out. When I finally confronted them, neither tried to lie about it. They admitted everything. Rachel apologized over and over, saying she'd gotten carried away. She said she felt neglected in our marriage, with both of us focused on work and other responsibilities. She claimed Mike had been a nice guy who made her feel wanted, and she let herself get swept up in it. She told me she envied how Mike treated his wife and wished I treated her the same way. Instead of talking to me about it, she said, she made a mistake and didn't know how to stop once it started. After hearing her excuses, I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. She called what she'd done a mistake. But mistakes don't last weeks or involve planning hotel getaways. This wasn't a one-time lapse in judgment. It was deliberate, calculated betrayal. For now, Rachel and I are still living in the same house. Neither of us has the means to leave, and with the cost of renting and the kids still in school, we're stuck navigating this mess under the same roof. Her family lives out of state, and my focus has been on maintaining as much stability as possible for the kids. Rachel has been trying everything to keep me from leaving. She's desperate, saying she'll do whatever it takes to save our marriage, even suggesting I see other women casually while staying married to her. She swore she'd never hold it against me, that it wouldn't count as cheating in her eyes. But that's not a marriage. That's not the life I wanted for myself or my kids. I told her as much, but she hasn't stopped trying. She keeps bringing up how we shouldn't let the kids grow up in a broken home. It's almost funny in a dark, twisted way. Her concern for the kids now, after everything she's done to destroy our family. I guess Rachel assumes nothing will make me leave. And maybe that's on me, for letting so much slide in the past. Forgiving her twice before probably gave her the impression that I'd always forgive her, that there was no line she couldn't cross. The truth is, I don't know if I love her anymore. Not in the way I used to. At this point, my feelings for her seem rooted more in our shared history and the fact that we have kids together than in genuine love. I keep asking myself if that's enough of a reason to stay. Rachel claims she loves me and doesn't want to lose everything we've built. But how can that be true when she was so willing to throw it all away for an affair with my best friend? How can I ever trust her again when she's already betrayed me 3 times? Even if I wanted to forgive her, there's no way to erase the damage she's done. Her words mean nothing to me now. They're empty promises, and I don't believe them. How long would it take before she did it again? I've tried to convince myself that people can make mistakes and learn from them, that forgiveness is possible. But this isn't one mistake, it's a pattern. And if I'm being honest, I don't even know if there are other affairs I haven't uncovered. My trust in her is so shattered that I can't be sure of anything anymore. My mental state feels like a mess, a swirling mix of anger, betrayal, and doubt. I keep replaying the moments I trusted Rachel, the times I convinced myself we were okay, and wondering how I could have been so blind. I've started talking to a lawyer. That's one decision I'm firm on. This marriage is over. Rachel might still believe she can salvage things, but there's no coming back from this. I stayed quiet about my plans at first, gathering the evidence I'd need to protect myself in case she tried to twist the narrative. The thought of dividing our lives, of explaining this to the kids, fills me with dread. I never wanted this for them. That's what kept me here the last 2 times, trying to shield them from the pain of a broken home. But now, I realize staying together like this might be worse. They deserve better than a household built on lies and mistrust. Rachel's attempts to reconcile have been relentless. She keeps saying how sorry she is, how she'll never do anything like this again. She's even tried to minimize what happened with Mike, calling it a moment of weakness and saying it didn't mean anything. But that's the thing. If it meant nothing, then why do it? Why risk everything we've built for something so meaningless? I asked her that once, and she couldn't give me an answer. She just broke down, crying and apologizing, as if that would fix anything. She's also made it clear that she doesn't want to leave. She's afraid of what people will think, afraid of the financial strain, and afraid of how the kids will take it. But those fears aren't enough to make me stay. What hurts the most is that I really believed we turned a corner after her last affair. I thought we were on the same page, building a future together. For years, I pushed aside my doubts and tried to trust her again, even though part of me always wondered if she'd betray me again. I've been avoiding Mike altogether. Cutting him out of my life was the easiest decision in all of this. The anger I feel toward him is a different kind of pain. He wasn't just a friend. He was someone I considered family. He betrayed me, my trust, and his own wife all at once. There's nothing he could say or do to make this right. I wonder if he feels any guilt, any regret, or if he's just moved on like nothing happened. Part of me wants to confront him, to unleash all the anger and frustration that's been building inside me. But what's the point? Nothing he says will change what he did. Rachel's desperation to keep our marriage intact has reached a new level. She started making wild promises, saying she'll do anything to make things right. She's even suggested an open marriage, telling me I can see other women as long as I come home to her at the end of the day. I told her that's not a marriage. It's not what I want, and it's certainly not what I signed up for when I said my vows. Her willingness to offer such an arrangement just proves how far removed we are from the relationship we once had. She's clinging to the idea of keeping our family together, constantly bringing up the kids and how much they need both of us in their lives. But what she doesn't seem to understand is that this version of together isn't healthy for anyone, least of all the kids. The betrayal has left me questioning everything. For so long, I convinced myself that staying was the right choice, that forgiving her was worth it to keep our family intact. But now, I can see how much I've sacrificed. My self-esteem, my peace of mind, and my trust in her. And that's the part one can't ignore. The trust? It's gone. shattered beyond repair. Every time I look at Rachel, I don't see the woman I fell in love with. I see someone who lied to me, cheated on me, and destroyed the foundation of our relationship not once, not twice, but 3 times. Even if I wanted to believe she could change, I can't forget the months she spent deceiving me. The effort it must have taken to sneak around with Mike, to plan hotel trips, to lie about her whereabouts, all while smiling to my face like nothing was wrong. I've started making preparations to move forward. The lawyer I spoke with has been helpful, guiding me through the legal process and giving me advice on how to protect myself and the kids. Rachel doesn't know the full extent of my plans yet, and I intend to keep it that way until everything is in place. As for the kids, I've been trying to figure out the best way to talk to them about what's happening. They're old enough to sense that something is wrong, but I want to shield them from as much of the pain as I can. They don't need to know all the details, just that their parents are separating because it's the best thing for everyone. As the days go by, I'm finding more clarity about what needs to happen next. My focus has shifted to the kids, ensuring they feel as secure and loved as possible during this upheaval. They deserve stability, even if their home life is about to change dramatically. I'm preparing to have that tough conversation with them, and it's weighing heavily on me. How do you explain to your children that their family is breaking apart, even though it's for the best? I've been rehearsing what to say, trying to find the balance between honesty and protection. They need to know this isn't their fault, and that they'll always have both of their parents in their lives. Meanwhile, Rachel continues her campaign to win me back. Her apologies, her pleas, her promises to change. They're constant, but they don't affect me anymore. I've become numb to them. She keeps asking if we can go to counseling, if we can try to rebuild what we had. But I know that would just be delaying the inevitable. Counseling can't fix trust that's been broken this many times. It can't erase the lies, the deceit, or the hurt. The more I think about it, the more I realize how much of myself I lost in this marriage. I spent so much time forgiving, compromising, and trying to move past her betrayals that I forgot to take care of myself. I let her actions chip away at my confidence, my sense of self-worth. Not anymore. I've decided to focus on rebuilding my life, starting with myself. I've been spending more time with the kids, throwing myself into work, and leaning on friends and family for support. My parents and siblings have been incredible, reminding me that I don't have to face this alone. Rachel's parents have also reached out, apologizing for her actions and offering their support. It's clear they're just as shocked and disappointed as I am. They've assured me they'll be there for the kids, no matter what happens between Rachel and me. As for Mike, I've made my peace with cutting him out of my life completely. The anger I feel toward him hasn't faded, but I know confronting him would only bring more drama and pain. He doesn't deserve the satisfaction of knowing how much he hurt me. Looking back, I can see how much I ignored or excused over the years. I told myself I was staying for the kids, for the family we built, but the truth is, I was afraid of starting over. Afraid of admitting that the marriage I fought so hard to save was broken beyond repair. But now, I'm ready to move forward. It won't be easy, and there will be moments of doubt and sadness. But I owe it to myself, and to my kids, to create a life built on honesty, respect, and trust. The road ahead is uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, I feel hopeful. My wife of over a decade is speaking to another man. I'll try to keep this short as my emotions are all over the place. My wife of over a decade, with whom I have 4 children, has been speaking to another man outside the relationship. I found out the way I feel lost people find out. More possessive of electronics. More distant. That kind of thing. Thing is, I'm not mad. Didn't even shout when I found out. My heart just kinda sank, and I was just sad and broken. We've had issues for a while. I thought they were just normal couple issues. But looking back on it, we were both stuck in our own bubbles of pettiness and negativity. It's led us both to feel neglected and less than we are. But in my head, we weren't arguing and she seemed content. I was content because I had her. Even if it wasn't perfect. More fool me, eh? She says she's just being honest with herself, which I believe 100%. She says the feelings started dying a couple years ago, but she didn't want to face it and didn't want to hurt me. Now, however, she has found a man half the world away. Says she's in love with him, and she may well be for all I know. I don't know her heart like I used to. This is crushing me so bad. It's given me time for reflection though. And she's right. I've not been the husband I should have been, but I want to be. And I'm committed to put the work in. I've told her all the things I'm willing to do. What I'm willing to change, making a plan of action if how to do it. That I will fight for us until my dying breath. All this is to say she tells me she doesn't know which one of us she wants. That she's scared that I'll stop trying or backslide. That she doesn't want to hurt me or this other man. That she is too scared that she will be hurt in the end. I want my wife back. I want her feeling as happy as when we met. Like she's needed and wanted and cared for and supported and everything else a good husband should be able to make their love feel. But I don't know what more I can do. I feel like I'm fighting a losing fight. I need advice on what more I can do to show her that I am 1000% committed to making us the best us we can be. I need help and advice. Sorry it's long. It's been hard. Win back your fiancé's heart with this one simple trick. My fiancé and I have been together for nearly 2 years. We share an 8-month-old daughter and live together, trying to build a life as a family. Coming from different cultural backgrounds, me being American and her Burmese, our relationship has always involved learning and adapting to each other's perspectives. As we prepared to welcome our child into the world, I took on the role of financial provider so that she could focus on being a mother without the stress of work. I promised her I would handle it all, and I genuinely believed I could. Then, everything fell apart. About 10 months ago, just as her pregnancy was nearing its end, I lost my job. Scrambling to find another, I accepted a sales position that was heavily focused on commission and earning potential. I threw myself into it, working as hard as I could, but no matter how much effort I put in, I struggled to bring in enough income. I barely made enough to cover the essential bills, and even that was a constant battle. In the meantime, my fiancée was balancing pregnancy and completing her master's degree. Despite the challenges, she finished her degree and landed better job offers than I ever could at the time. After some discussion, we decided I would stay home with our daughter while she became the primary breadwinner. It wasn't until recently that I realized how much resentment she was holding onto from those months of financial struggle. She told me she felt betrayed, that I hadn't lived up to the trust she'd placed in me to provide for our family. She admitted she'd never relied on anyone before, and that my failure during that time shattered her image of me as a dependable partner. She said she would never forgive herself for trusting me, that it was a mistake she couldn't let go of. Her perspective is very black and white. Either you meet expectations fully, or you fail completely. I've tried to explain that circumstances were beyond my control, but it doesn't seem to matter. It's also worth noting that she struggles with borderline personality disorder, which complicates her ability to process these feelings. I love her and our daughter with all my heart. All I want is the chance to prove that I can provide and make things right. But no matter what I say or do, she tells me it's too late. She's planning to move out in the summer, not because she doesn't love me, but because she can't see me becoming the man she wants and needs. I've offered to work 2 jobs, to do whatever it takes to restore her faith in me, but she doesn't care. She's already made up her mind. Since I was a kid, I've dreamed of having a family, of being a husband and father. Now, I'm watching that dream fall apart in front of me, and I don't know how to stop it. The thought of my family splitting up is unbearable. I'm terrified of losing her and not being able to wake up to my daughter's smile every day.